Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This is RAERAES all day discussing Southern Charm, Season 9, Episodes 5 and 6 with my homie, you know the one, Espopcutltureopinion. Welcome.
Hey, everybody.
Yes. What a doozy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Girl, the pH balance of it all. Oh, my God.
It's the swearing on a life of it all.
Oh, my. It is just... these kids, I mean, well, some of them aren't. Some of them as grown as we are, but you know.
Yeah. Shep is as grown as we are, but thankfully for Shep's sake, I feel like he's acting in some of the most mature ways as he ever has.
Yeah. And it's his turn to feel this this season.
Yes.
It's his turn to feel. So feel on, Shep. Everyone has their just desserts, and he's taking it like a man. He's taking on the chin real good, though. I think he is.
Listen, I feel like as lechy as we have seen and as elitist as we have seen Shep be, he still has this ability in him to be endearing and show a little bit of like the kind soul that I think we're all hanging on to. Because otherwise, why would he would be a supervillain? And I just, like I said, as lechy as I've seen him be, I just really don't think inherently he's a total douche canoe. I don't. So I'm happy for him that I think he's happy for himself too, that he's not the dick this season.
Right. Very forgiving.
Hopefully that is not considered a curse word by YouTube. But anyway, the D.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was saying, hopefully you can say eggplant and Facebook doesn't consider it a curse word.
Oh, girl. I hope not. I hope not.
So where do we start?
Let's start at the beginning. Austin confesses. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. It's a shame. I mean, here we go. Austin is like, okay, sweating bullets, stuff is sticking to his thighs. He don't know what how to say it, shuffling over his words. He just finally just says, okay, poor judgment was made. I'm sorry for being weak. Whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. We had a kiss. And
I can't tell.
Looking so defeated with his Burberry scarf.
I can't tell if Austin, it looks like Austin is genuinely a terrible liar, which I'm shocked because I'm like, you do such dirty dog things. But the times that we've seen him directly confronted by his friends, he can't look them in the eye and lie to their face the way that Taylor can.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we watched happen. You know what I mean? I just think that ultimately Austin cannot lie the way that he likes to lay down.
I'm still on the fence with Austin. I think he does things for shock value. I think he likes attention, and he's going to do whatever he can for attention, not necessarily for the show, but just so he can have attention. I hate to say this, but sometimes it just has to be said. Sometimes when, like the tragedy his family had regarding his sibling, his sister, perhaps a lot of what he needed, he didn't get. And we all know childhood traumas affect adults in the weirdest way. And usually when you have so much negative attention on yourself, it's because you didn't get enough attention as a kid. Now, I don't have a degree. Don't get me wrong. I don't have a degree in psychology, psychiatry, none of that. But I have worked around this field for a very long time, have been around this field for a very long time. And I think it's kind of common knowledge about attention seekers and what I'm saying. I think I'm right. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am wrong.
I don't think you're necessarily wrong either, because it does seem like he really goes after, he particularly likes attention from women too. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Olivia felt very led on because he was yanking her chain, right?
Right.
And I think he likes the attention, but he also doesn't want to, and Craig brought this up, and I think it's the truth, honestly. Shep nor Austin want to employ the discipline it takes to be in a relationship. They don't want to control their drinking and they're going out and getting adored by the public. They want to have the freedom to get as sloppy as they want. And if the hot girl that they're talking to is down to TF, then they want to take her home, because to them it's just part of going out and having fun. It doesn't mean anything, right? But obviously nobody wants to be in a relationship with someone that keeps doing stuff like that. I mean, let us not forget what Madison walked in on.
Girl.
Two ladies and Austin at half-mast.
There you go.
In his underwear. So, I just think that Austin has a compulsion with women that he is maybe addressing with this therapist. I would hope so, because he does seem likable, but then he also does some of the most doggedy dog stuff.
He'll stop eventually. I know a little bit later on in the scene, he's talking with a therapist, and in some weird way, I just don't think he was real genuine for being there. He kept saying how he was there for the betterment of the relationship between him and Olivia. And I'm thinking they're not even in a relationship. So wouldn't it seem like he was focused in on fixing him more so than trying to make someone else feel comfortable? Because therapy is personal. Do I have the wrong perception about that? Did I hear that wrong? Because I'm pretty sure I thought I heard him say that.
Well, he goes on, he first says that he gets close to someone, he repeatedly he wants a relationship, he meets someone, he gets close to them, and then he pulls away. And that's like public speaking for I cheat, because let's be real. But to your point, I don't think that reality TV therapy sessions are ever real. So I just always feel like I kind of just wave them away, because I don't feel like any real, sometimes, yes, sometimes, but like most of the time you're like, yeah, right. Like I would not be as candid in front of a camera with my therapist as I would without, regardless of whether or not I'm filming a reality show, So those things are always a little canned. But he did take a big portion of that to be really sad and crying about really wanting to be there for Olivia, which I agree with you. It felt disingenuous and just weird. Because I'm like, you don't really like that girl. Because if you did, you wouldn't have treated her the way that you did. Period. It's that simple. Ta-da! And now you just don't like looking like a big a-hole. But
That's
that's
true.
what you are, because that's what you do.
That's true.
And I think the reason that Shep could forgive him as quickly as he did is because Shep knows how casual and how sloppy it was that him and Taylor kissed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think what would hurt him more was to know that Austin and Taylor both heavily considered, should we date? I don't think Austin heavily considered it, because I think Austin, treated the situation with Taylor almost as like flippantly as he did with Olivia, all for show, because he liked the idea and the attention, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
do think they are genuine. I think maybe something could be there, whatever, right? But we also know Austin's a dog, so I don't think Taylor would be the one to take him out of that behavior. If Madison couldn't, she could not. But
Right.
I do think that Shep wanted to forgive Austin because he wanted to lean on, I get it, you were drunk, you made out with her like we do a million girls every time, right? Like, I think that if he knew just how much at least Taylor considered dating Austin, I think he would be more hurt. Or as he finds out.
Yeah, I'm cool on Austin.
Yeah. No, yeah, me too. I'm like, whatever, dude. You the proof is in your behavior.
For real.
You could be a likable guy, but woof woof.
For real. Well, next we have Madison and her press tour
Yes.
about she done went to Bonita, she done went to Patricia and Whitney. I mean, okay, so first she's talking to, to Bonita. Hey girl, what you doing? Oh, guess what I heard? Okay.
I would too if I were her. I mean, that's some fun gossip right there. That's some prime real estate. That's some like,
Girl,
let me tell
yes.
you. Yeah, it's fun.
Yes. Like, okay. Now I understand that's her girl. That's what we do. We gossip. Hell, I mean, what are we doing now? I mean, really, right?
Yeah.
So I think, like I said before, Madison is enjoying the fact that she's not in the hot seat.
Yeah.
The fact that she has some intel and it's good gossip. It's not bad. It's not like, oh my God, someone's pregnant, girl.
Right.
Well, we don't know that yet, huh? That has
right.
But the fact that, here is another group of people hooking up within the group, and they're just so comfortable with this. It's like it's like they're all accepting that, well, things happen. But I'm like, why are they so accepting of each other when there's a billion other people in the city that they can hook up with? Choose somebody else outside of the group. Hello. But yeah, she goes to her friend Vanita. Vanita's on her outside back porch sipping some drink, and she's like, well, what's up? And she's like, well, girl, Austin done confessed to making out with Taylor. And then Vanita was just like, girl, you see her face?
Yep.
Girl.
Yep.
I was shocked too. Like, oh my gosh.
Vanita's thinking in her mind, and the season just unfolded.
Girl. But wait, then Madison goes and pays a visit, excuse me, to Patricia. This was the next day, right? Because just that night, they were all getting slossed and tearing up the place. And then she goes back over there and tells more of the business. Well, and that's her thing. Austin confessed. She wants to be clear and concise that she is not spreading rumor. And she's like, Austin confessed. That's her tagline. Well, Austin confessed. I'm just saying what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay. Hooked up and kissing are two different things, in my opinion. not even in the realm of what they do, but I think hooking up is sex.
I agree. Yes. Well, and didn't that's what Austin said to Shep to find hooking up. Remember? And remember, Austin's like, Shep was like, I have a very hard time believing that you just kissed in this day and age. Come on now, you doggity dog, me dog. Like we're at the age where we don't kiss.
That's what they
So
do.
right, and like I told you, I haven't really done any digging, but like from if memory serves, what I thought I understood was that they did end up sleeping together. But I don't know. I haven't, confirmed that. But the story that they're sticking to is they just made out. I wouldn't use hooked up either. I would use did you tongue hockey there for a minute, or did you kiss for like 30 seconds? Like what'd you do?
Right.
Like, if you just kiss, that's a lot different than, whatever. I don't know. This is all dumb. You broke the seal, I guess, regardless. You took it to a different level. It's not just friendship.
Yeah, that was a bit much. But like I said, I think Madison is glad that the heat's off of her for once. She's not in the middle per se. She's not involved. She's just
Yep.
spilling the tea, child. Spilling all the tea. All of it. Okay, so Olivia and Leva, they have a conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, they have a little time together. They're, discussing some things. And, they're both like, okay, of course, talking about what ifs, if this happens, if that happens, and what and what have you. And I'm thinking, what is gonna really happen even before the end of the show? What's really gonna happen when Olivia finds out, right? Because she
Mm-hmm.
was just like, well, this may end things, for us if I find out anything more. Oh, really? It does it?
Well, I told you, I think that, I mean, I have heard recent interviews about what the outcome is. So if we want to talk about that in real time, I don't know if it's on the show too or not, but Taylor also loses a brother this year or during, and they basically have decided to put all of it under the bridge, water under the bridge, because of the experience, and be friends and lean on one another because of what they've
Mhm.
both experienced. There's no details released about Taylor's brother, although there's speculation that it's of
Mhm.
nefarious ways, if you know what I mean. Like OD speculation. Um, but I don't want to, smear his name too much without there being any proof. I
Yeah.
also know that Taylor currently has a boyfriend as well. So that's probably a lot, it's a lot easier to forgive a friend, I think, in general, when you both suffer a massive loss like that and the other person's moved on and it was, you know, either a kiss or a one-time booty call. Do you know what I mean? I don't even know if I believe that. But regardless, you know, I think that it's Olivia really wants to stay friends with Taylor and vice versa.
I think she feels her friendship with Taylor is a lot stronger than the demise concerning um well hold on. I got to rephrase what I'm saying. I think Olivia feels like her friendship with Taylor is a stronger bond
Mm-hmm.
than not being friends with her over Austin, because
Agreed.
she feels no respect for Austin, or very little respect for Austin, considering how he treated her
Yes.
and how he's treating Taylor. Because if I'm not mistaken, she did mention to Taylor how Taylor should be protecting her feelings and not Austin's. But
Yeah.
that's at the end. That's at the end.
I mean, Olivia seems like the only one that's like behaving in the way that's probably the most healthy in a toxic situation like this, right? Where you're like, you and I have become very close. You're my girlfriend. You know, the part that like, and we'll get there. I don't want to jump ahead, so I'll shut myself up. Let me climb back up the stairs. Olivia seems to be the only one acting in like the least toxic way, right? Because most women that would like take Austin back and dump the friend. Do you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
respect her for kind of like she's got Austin right where he needs to be, and I respect that about her. So you played with me, and I'm done with you because you're a POS. And I
Right.
like that. Someone needs to think that way about him.
And so far Olivia is very she is, how do you say, she is more grown up and more mature than a lot of these people on this show. And it's surprising because I'm expecting another similar like-minded individual. But I'm impressed about how Olivia is handling all of this. She's, you know,
Yeah.
she seems to have a great head on her shoulders, and she seems fair for the most part, and a cool girl. You know, somebody I could probably hang out with. She seems like a cool girl. Mm-hmm. Interesting, huh?
Well, things change, right?
Okay. Did you get to see them on Watch What Happens Live, her and Shep?
Yes. I saw her and I saw Craig with New York. Anyway, but you know, this next point is exactly why this is where I have issues.
About what?
Well, Austin tells Taylor he reneged, right? He's like,
there you go.
And he made this choice, right? They make this pact, and he makes the choice because because he knows he can't pull it off. He tells Austin the truth. This is where Taylor needs to stop doing this. Don't swear on your life. Don't swear on a Bible. Don't swear on your mama. Don't swear on nothing if you're lying. If you know you're lying, like you're looking at your friend in the eye and you're swearing on your life, and the level of trust card you're pulling, it's not, you did it. That's bad energy. You are calling yourself to be caught. I would want to beat Austin senseless. On the other hand, don't swear on your life. What are you doing? What are you doing? And why? Is this really worth it? Especially when half the time you're trying to act like you had every right to do it because nobody was together with anybody.
Yeah.
Which one is it? You swear on your life? It's not that big a deal.
I want Austin, actually, no, I want Taylor to really hone in on that girls' luncheon that they had and really hone in on what Madison said, what all the girls said, but particularly, remember what Madison said, that, you know, he's out for himself. He may care about you, but in the long run, he's going to side with his boys. He's going to, you know, protect himself. And it's up to you to really be the Taylor you need to be. But, you know, that comes with experience, age, a little, you know, more maturity in life, and more discernment with this girl. Because I think the next episode or whatever, they mentioned how her religion really didn't play a part in her actions.
Oh, no kidding.
Hypocrisy at its finest. I mean, you know, girl, what you doing? But she's been shacking up with the man. So look, in what religious book is that okay? I'm just saying. Hello.
She falls into a very commonplace section of the church, the Christian church, called reserved for hypocrisy.
Hello.
The hypocrite section. You
That part.
know,
But
there's
it's
a
hey,
lot of people using the word of the Lord to say certain things, and then if you look at, you know,
who
I
hasn't
mean,
done it?
what?
Who hasn't done it? We're all sinners,
Exactly.
some
Oh,
form or
totally.
fashion.
But we're not all sitting around here leaning into God and thumping on the Bible and talking about
Hello.
that stuff. Listen, if you're on reality TV and you are talking about the word of God and being, don't be a hoe. Just don't, because guess what? Like, the American public in general is not going to take you at your face value. That's what Taylor has done, is she's wrecked her credibility this season.
Especially don't be a hoe in a circle of friends.
Yeah, because speaking of, Patricia outs her for wholeness.
Hello. Speaking of,
Speaking
Patricia was
of,
like, we're not going to talk about the photograph. OMG. She reminds me of rest in peace, Anna Shea, all from Bling Empire. I'm so sad she passed
oh,
away. Remember her?
mm-hmm.
She was
Yeah.
so in the mix, but she would throw something out. Now, she wouldn't hide her hand, but she would throw the bomb out to just watch it poof. Like, like her and Patricia are the same person. It must be the
Yeah.
wealth. It must be the wealth.
Yeah. Yep.
Rest in peace, Anna Shea. Oh, I'm so sad she's gone. I'm gonna
Yes,
miss
rest
her.
in peace. Well, and I mean, that just shows, like, I think it shows youth and immaturity, but I also think it does show that I think Taylor is definitely on her journey, like you said, that it comes with, this is probably her first major breakup,
Mm,
and I can see the youth, not necessarily even in age, but like in experience, by the
yeah,
way she's reacting. And I
yeah,
can respect that, honestly. And I also can respect the fact that, like, everybody can tell you the right thing to do, but you're so effed up over this kind of first serious major relationship where you really thought you were going to marry this person, you changed your
yeah.
life for them, and they really, really burned you, right? And so I kind of can't blame her. But I'm at the same time, I'm like, ew, Whitney's even older than Shep. And like, what are you
He
doing? You know, like, I,
gosh, Whitney.
oh, Whitney is 1.5 steps away from, listen, he knew Thomas Ravenel. Like, Whitney stays off and lurks in the shadows because he's a
Oh
lurky
wow.
jerk. Yeah, I'm not saying he's Thomas Ravenel, but Whitney's the creator of the show, so I don't ever forget that. And Whitney was hooking up with Catherine in the dark the whole time too. So
Mm.
yeah, um, but this just shows Taylor spiraling after this breakup.
Well, I can't wait for the next few episodes because
Yep.
girl, trifling. Okay, so we got Craig and Shep doing lunch. They're discussing
Mhm.
how bothered Shep is, and
Mhm.
uh, I'm not laughing. Well, I kind of am because I'm a girl's girl, no matter how wrong Taylor is, and Shep has done some trifling ish
Yep.
over these last 9 years, at
Very.
least that we've noticed that we've known of him, and it's
Mhm.
always a funny get back when sort of when the rabbit got the gun, but it's like, dude, come on, he's what all this flannel walking around in sunglasses and just you know it's just weird, but at least he's not throwing hissy fits and fighting. He's, like you said, he respects Austin for his honesty, and he's just going along with everything because he has to take it on his chin. I mean, what else can he do, right?
I do think he has one of the more, like, it's hard for me to say this when I'm talking about Shep, but mature perspectives, in that it's really, at the end of the day, not that big of a deal. Like if
Yeah.
you're friends, and he did cheat on Taylor. They did break up. Like he's trying to look at it in the most, you know, like, oh my God, of course I'm blanking on the word, but like objective way, period,
Yeah, I think so.
Because he's
Craig
been
is
a
just
dirty dog
eating all
himself.
this up too.
Yep.
Craig is, I think he's laughing at his friend Shep because he's thinking,
Mm-hmm.
now it's your turn to face
Yes.
whatever,
Totally.
you
And
know, because
100.
I'm with Craig. It's like I don't know if I could be friends with my dude who hooked up whatever version of hooked up they did. I mean, a kiss to me is a violation, so I understand.
Well, what about Naomi hooking up with Whitney?
I mean, hey, and in front of Craig, in front of everybody, yelling. I mean,
Yeah.
Naomi was doing the most.
See, that's why I think all of them, I think especially the guys, they're like, it's your turn, welcome to the club. But everyone has done this to one another. Like, but they keep saying that Charleston is an incestuous town and that it's just common that you have dated, slept with, or entangled with common people because that's just the way that it is.
Well, we see it on this show, so it's
Yes, we
obviously
do.
not a
Yep.
rumor but fact. It's just why in the same friend group you might as well just have an orgy. You might as well just all go out and just have a menage a eight and just get it over with.
Yeah.
Because you're going to eventually.
I
I
think I think some of the guys would be completely down for that.
I
And maybe
mean,
even have. I think Shep and Austin, who knows what they've done, I'm just saying.
as
On
we
their
grow,
travels.
right, as we grow and get older, we discover, ourselves. And this usually, I would think, happens in our 20s as we're, you know, getting to know what life is all about and what we want to explore. But 30s and 40s, I would think that was, so it's like, aren't you too old for this by now? But I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but to be honest, in college, all kind of shit happened.
Right.
I mean, I ain't trying to say nothing because, like I said, all kind of shit happened that I knew about in college, that I was exposed
Mm-hmm.
to, some things I participated in because it was a nuance for me. But even at 32, if it became a nuance to me, I wouldn't want to do it because, well, again, everybody's different, mindsets are different, and especially if sharing the pH is what this group does, it's more so acceptable within that friend group anyway. So
Yeah.
who am I to
Well,
judge? Right.
I think part of the problem for Austin, Shep, and Craig, but Craig lesserly so, especially because he's happy in a relationship right now. They're good looking. They're celebrities. They can get any girl they want, and they'd have to break the fourth wall to really talk about this. But they have
Yeah.
so much, um, uh, that's being thrown at them that they're
Yeah.
like staying latent. You know what I mean? Like they're not maturing in certain ways because they have too much opportunity to still act like they're in college. I think that's why Shep didn't want to settle down with Taylor. He's like, I'm not done being a frat boy, and he probably never will.
Right.
He likes to go have his debauchery off on vacation and do things and enjoy ladies and have a good time, and he comes from enough family wealth that he can do that. So
Yeah.
I think that Austin is struggling with the identity that Shep is kind of comfortable with because I don't think he wants to stay a bachelor, but he doesn't want to stop acting like the bachelor in order to get to that end zone. But I
Right.
also wonder too, like maybe you just haven't met someone because Well, I think he really cared about Madison and knew what a catch he was and knows that he messed that one up. But I don't really know how he's felt about anyone since. I mean, it still didn't stop him from treating her like trash.
Hello. And
So
Olivia is just so undeserving of that. Like I said, she is not that type of girl. It's just kind of
no,
messed up.
no, I think he played with her. I think he played with her from the jump. I think he liked having a little thing with her, but I don't feel like if you like truly, I don't think Austen ever had any proper intentions with her because he's just not going to do that with anyone.
Right.
I think he used her, and I think that's part of why she's really, really mad at him is because she feels it.
Right. I can agree. Well, next we got Paige. This is gonna be real quick because that really wasn't much of anything. Paige comes home to visit, and she's very. Is it me or she's showing her New York very well, where she's very I hate saying very, but she's demanding and bossy, a little rude, if you ask me. I mean,
yeah.
Okay, let's go in. Go up to my room. Bring me some water. Okay, chop chop. Is it me or was it?
No,
was it really
that's how it is.
in her Renaissance pants? Girl, look.
Yep.
She was getting ready for Beyonce. Yeah, it was a real quick, you like, oh my God, can you believe what's going on? I can't wait for this party. Oh my God, they're just like eating all this up. But I really like the fact that that extra room is hers, like,
I agree. That was the only comment
cute?
I have about that's the only comment I had about that scene too. And I think a lot of people have been saying this. Everybody's like, hell yes, I want my own bedroom. Doesn't mean I sleep there, but like, hell yes, I want my own bedroom. I love it.
And the bathroom, of course, because every woman needs her own bathroom.
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody. I don't care what nobody say. Don't argue with me, nobody. Nobody argue with me.
I'm 100%.
We need our own separate facilities, laboratory, whatever you want to call it, from our male counterpart.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not sure about. I'm sure women can probably share, but it's just something about a man and what he does. We don't want no part of it.
I just don't. That's the mystery I want to remain in my relationship. I just don't want it to share. I just don't, for both our sakes. We don't need to know each other's business that way. I don't want to gross each other out,
That's
so if we can avoid that.
He has his back. Look, it's 3 toilets in this house.
Yeah.
And this toilet in the main area is mine. Now, share everything else in this bathroom, but the toilet, the water closet, you cannot go in there unless you're cleaning it. And most times I'm the one cleaning it. So no, it's 2 other toilets in this house. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it's always been. No shame in my game. No. Mm-mm. But in a way, I grew up like that because my dad, growing up, he had the cold bathroom at the end of the house. That's where because it was a house full of women anyway. Maybe that's just how I was raised. But my dad had a bathroom, like it was like a quarter bath. It was just a toilet and a sink next to the washer and dryer back porch area, and that's where he spent his time when he needed his time. So that's just how I was raised, I guess. I don't know.
Yep.
That is just so funny how us women feel that way about our private time.
Mm-hmm.
OMG. Anyway, so this gamey pheasant party. Did you see how everybody was chewing?
Yes, it grossed me out. The way there's a lot of bones and I'm like, no, this is no. I don't want this. I'm like, no.
It was weird. But
yeah.
What was more weird was as soon as Olivia came in, she's attacked. Okay, you want to talk now? Well, damn, can I get my coat off?
It was obvious that it was more for Taylor than it was for Olivia. I need to speak with you
Hello.
now. Don't even enjoy yourself, because what I need to do takes precedence over you even settling in.
Girl. And she just like flipped her hair a little bit, like, what? And she finally was like, what the like see her face, like, what the hell is going? I can't even walk in good. And you tell because earlier that day, ever since Taylor was, outed by her homie,
Her
Austin,
cohort.
since he reneged on the deal, he brought it up and then he reneged on the deal. Like, duh, you should have known then, dummy, that he was out for himself. Anywho, that she needed to tell her ASAP. So she's trying to get her on the phone. Can I come over and talk? She's like, no, I'm kind of, in the middle of things, whatever. Let's just talk talk tonight at the, at the dinner. And as soon as she couldn't even cross a threshold good. She's
No.
offered a drink. Okay, we did kiss. What?
Oh, it was so like no lube. It was so like, whoa, you just, huh?
Girl.
Yeah, it was very obvious that Taylor was driven by her anxiety to tell Olivia more than she cared about her friend in that moment. She couldn't help herself. It was
Yeah, she was
basically like,
nervous. Like, oh my God, what?
yeah.
And to me, that proves that she's not mature enough to handle all of this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Because you should have had a plan from jump. What if she finds out? What am I going to do? Because you're
Well,
deceiving her. So you have to come up with that scenario and you're at least come up with it so you can recall, go back to it, and have the best answer for your so-called friend that you've been lying to and deceiving. Because not having that and trusting a dude who's not gonna be truthful is just stupid and ill prepared. She was very ill prepared this whole time.
yeah. Well, I think it just goes back to don't swear on your life that something didn't happen when it did. Like, you
True,
can deny it. I mean, it's bad enough that you lied, but when you look
true.
someone in the eyes and say, I swear on my life, girl, then you did. Bye. Like, let's all go to a funeral. So,
Yeah, when they had that lunch at Starbucks, I'm
yeah.
thinking you better be telling the truth because even you were telling me no, something happened. Because later I'm like, it couldn't have. Because what's she saying?
Yeah,
Just
no,
lie.
she
Oh
that
my
was my point.
God.
I'm like, girl, just if you're gonna like you've now really pulled a lot of equity out of your trust card because you're swearing on your life, you're on the Bible, you're dancing with God, you're having a lot of things here when all you really need to do is it didn't happen. And then when you got caught lying, you wouldn't have sweared on a stack of Bibles, you wouldn't have offered up your firstborn. Like you just why are you digging a deeper hole when you actually did it? It kind of goes back to you where you're like you have to like really think about the scenario of I think she just really trusted that Austin wanted to keep this secret as much as she did, but lesson learned, can't do that. Don't swear on your life. Don't swear on your life if you did it. Don't do that.
And that's why I can understand what Olivia was telling Leva at that lunch, where,
Yeah.
if I find out anything else, we're done because of exactly what we're talking about from what from what Taylor said at Starbucks. I
Yeah.
swear nothing else happened. I swear. What? What? Like, hello?
Yeah. Listen, you can stand 10 toes down if you don't swear on your life. If you be like, nothing happened and then we kissed, okay, I'm sorry that I lied to you. We both agreed to do that. But when you're looking at someone and using your credibility, your reputation, your relationship with them, I swear on precious things to me, things that you shouldn't be swearing on unless it was true,
Right.
then you, hello, you just make yourself look like that much more of a shisty person. So that's
Right.
why it's easy for Olivia to be done because she's like, I can't trust you as a friend because you're willing to look me in my eye and say, I swear on my life when you did it.
Right. All
And
right, you
that's
ready
why I was
for,
like,
huh?
oh, I was saying, and that's where Taylor really messed up. Stop trying to bring in your, like, count on your, like, good Christian reputation for shit you did.
She shouldn't have said all that.
Nope.
And because she trusted Austin not to say anything. Because she didn't think it was that big of a deal when it actually was. Because if it wasn't that big of a deal, you wouldn't have said all that. She should have never said we went to our family. No family is going to out you.
Yeah, what was that? In retrospect, why would you admit that to Olivia but not the kiss? Like, you hurt her. The whole
And that's what I'm saying. Like, but when that's why criminals are dumb. They make mistakes.
First, when you practice to deceive, oh, what a tangled web we weave and all that nonsense. You're right, though. Looking in retrospect, something I didn't put together is I really don't understand why she thought she should share, because I think that statement hurt Austin and actually hurt Olivia more to know that they even contemplated being in a relationship together. I think if you came out with, oh, we were drunk and really stupid and we kissed, no big deal, sorry, we took it to the grave because we didn't ever want you guys to know, that you keep the we went and talked to our siblings about if we should date or not to the grave, because you didn't decide to go forward with it. But now you were really hurting your friends because you're telling them that at one point in time, unbeknownst to them, you heavily contemplated starting something with Austin.
Of all people.
Stupid.